Not only does this thing look 10 times better than it did before, but they finally fixed the slide problem. Hello and welcome everybody, Josh the RV Nerd of Bish's RV here with a completely new generation of Wildwood X-Lite or Salem Cruise Light. Two names for the same thing. And by slide problem, what I mean is that when the slide was retracted on this RV, like most towable RVs, you weren't supposed to sit in it. But they have updated and swapped over to, it's called an Assassin Power Gear slide system. The name is kind of spooky, but it's like a motorhome slide system. And one of the benefits of that, because it has rollers under it that are supporting it even while it's retracted, you can sit in this slide while it is closed up. So it provides better travel stop function than ever. Now this floor plan still has some travel stop limitations, but that will apply to all of the X-Lite, Cruise Light, Salem Wildwoods out there. I think that's a major shift. Not to mention just the fact that this looks phenomenal compared to what we saw previously. So X-Lite Cruise Light technically is the little brother to full Salem Wildwood. Really one of the only differences, it has a little bit of a step up slide out, which allows it to run on a lighter weight chassis and be a smaller, lighter overall RV. Other than that, it has pretty much all the exact same equipment. The underbelly's enclosed and forced air heated. You've got the VersaLounge, all the amazing visual updates. You've got a 15,000 BTU standard air. I love that dressing that they put over the microwave. Does it need to be there? Does it have any real function? No. Do I love it? Yes, because stick and tin campers just have always looked like stick and tin campers. They looked cheap. The thing is, they kind of realized that with smart aesthetic design decisions, you can make something look good without making it more expensive. And I think that this really signals a major shift in the stick and tin RV industry. This floor plan, by the way, sorry, squirrel. This floor plan provides a private rear L bunk room that is either a quad bunk or can actually fit some bigger people or function like a second living room without the weight, length, and cost of a second slide. RV's got ups, downs, and in-betweens. We're going to try to hit them all for you. And if you appreciate the candid look at the new stuff, hit that subscribe button because there's a lot more to come. We're going to kind of peel this onion back in layers today because there's a, well, it's a multifunctional kind of floor plan. But right from the top here, they've tweaked their lighting package around. This is all now, the camera doesn't like dimmer lighting, by the way. It doesn't flicker in real life. But they're all on a dimmer switch now, which is really cool. They've also gone to a new JBL sound system, so it just sounds a little bit better. Now, the cool thing with this is that you still have the choice between having like a traditional U-dinette and sofa versus something that could be maybe a little more interesting. So first of all, this can fold down into the just a gigantic, long, mega sleeper, essentially. And it has 20.6 cubic foot of food-safe tote storage in there. Those aren't the kind of totes that when they're left exposed to heat for a long time, they're going to poison your graham crackers, you know what I mean? But that's not all this does. If you're not familiar with the VersaLounge, you can also change the seating arrangement where you can create this big, giant, long, extended, like, seating, lay-down, napping lounge, but still have a little mini dinette over here. Could have a little desk function, could have a little bit of a dinette arrangement. You know, a little bit of whatever you want with it. You could also just leave that divider cushion off and kind of flex function it all the live long day if you are also so inclined, which is actually an arrangement that I kind of like. Now, if you saw my full Wildwood release video for 2025 recently here, I believe it was a 27RK, you may have noticed that it had a different sliding dining arrangement. That is not compatible with the little bit of the step-up slide. This RV, the wheel well does bump into the body of the RV a little bit, so the slide out actually exists several inches above the floor. So it's not possible to build this with a floor flush slide. So this still has more of the traditional slide in the X-Lite Cruise Light series. Now, the overall, though, it is lighter and brighter in here than I've seen in the past. I've seen a few other manufacturers dabble with these, like, blade beam style lights before, but they were using a variety that didn't cast out quite the illumination that this one is. This is light and bright in here, and we're in a building. It's not like I'm getting a lot of natural light from the sun flooding in here. This RV doesn't have awesome campsite window coverage, but they did expand that kitchen window right there. And based on your input, these did not used to include a window in the entry door. Whether you get the platinum fiberglass version or the standard retro tin skin version, you are still getting a full viewing window in the door. So at least if you're in the living room or kitchen and you hear one of your kids screaming bloody murder, you have a pretty decent ability to quick scan your campsite to figure out if they're just arguing with one another, if you got to go out and parent this thing and salvage it real fast. They also went from a 5-piece door to a 1-piece door, which just literally eliminated a lot of points where things could rattle and stretch apart. They went to a little different pull system here with the screws on the back side of a TFL door. Not a wood door, it's a TFL door, which is like a thermal foil lined kind of thing. I've never really seen someone do thermal foil doors before, but notice how it was sealed all the way around, so your humidity should be able to get in there and expand that and cause damage or anything. They also dressed up the microwave. When has a manufacturer ever dressed up a microwave to make it look cool? I'll get that cracked open for you in a little bit here, but I also love the fact that it includes just a simple little spice rack. Just these brilliant, easy little details. They're nailing. Now, they've done a lot of cool stuff in the kitchen. It still doesn't have a stovetop side splash, which would be nice, but nah. Oh, by the way, this 15,000 BTU air conditioner is crushing. It's like 92 degrees and crazy humid here today. Not like Georgia humid, but Michigan humid, Indiana humid, and it's doing well. What do you think, by the way, of this? They eliminated the leak points of having windows on the slide sides, and they gave us the light from those indirect glow beams on the little radius walls, but it doesn't actually have a window. I don't know. What do you think about that? I do like the look of it. I'm kind of curious to know what people think about it long term. The bathroom is pretty straightforward still. You've got decent, not bad, decent space around the toilet. So I'm currently over 220 pounds with a chicken nugget dad bod. And I'm a little bit over 6'1" flat foot plus shoes. So with a 6.5 foot tall ceiling, my head's absolutely in the shower, but it is a corner shower. And again, they're doing all this nice little touchy touch radius work right here. By the way, the air conditioner vents are cranking right now, so if you occasionally hear it sounds like somebody breathing on the microphone, it actually might be one of the air vents touching it. This is really the signature calling card of this floor plan, though. It's the QB and the QB XL, quad bunk X-Lite, because it can be a 4-bunk, but as you see during the day, it could also convert into something of a second living room, which is really, really handy. I like that extra window in there, so in addition to the bunk window, you can get some decent breeze through. And it doesn't have a ton of storage in this bunk room, but you do have that little kind of corner entertainment station there, and then at least a little bit of shelf tote space. Now, what's kind of handy about this is one of the things you can do, kind of again, assuming you have like 2 kids, is you assign each kid their own little tote. And you know, chances are parents are helping most kids get ready for the camping trip. Pile their clothes on their bed and be like, okay, go grab your tote, put all your clothes in the tote, and then bring it to the camper and put it in the shelf. Like, they can kind of help a little bit that way. Start teaching them some stuff. The cool thing about this RV, though, is, you know, it doesn't have to just be a second living room. You can see how this can kind of convert around into being either a quad bunk, or notice how I laid that blanket across that top bunk all the way across. If you have like an older, taller teenager and then maybe a younger kid, you can put the older, big kid across the top and then put the smaller kid or 2 across the bottom. Now, there technically is some storage capacity below that sofa, but they also run some water lines down there. So I kind of wish they would have done a cleaner job of that. We're about to crack open all the kitchen storage, but the way it's position, since I've already opened part of the sofa, it's a little tricky. I want to get you in that corner pantry over there. One of the things I like about it is they put some really nice lips on those shelves, even though it's behind a door, just to make sure all that storage really kind of stayed in place. It's not a giant oven, but there's a lot of campers, even in the expensive laminate world, that no longer have an oven. This is the smaller kind of 16-inch oven, not the bigger 21, 22-inch, but it's still an oven. And again, you've got that Legend of Zelda secret space kind of, microwave situation going on there, which I personally think is just very, very cool. It's got gas struts to hold it up and a magnet hold back to make it, you know, a little bit easy, by the way. I don't know that this is necessarily the best floor plan for rainy day entertainment, but because of the VersaLounge, I also don't know that it's the worst. Is it a direct-facing theater seat? No. I don't know that this stick and tin bunk, it's hard to you forget this is just, quote, just a stick and tin bunkhouse with the look of it now. But if you sit over here at the bench that faces forward, you can kind of see everything. Plus, depending on how you arrange the VersaLounge, you kind of have that cool little, you know, layback lounge space over there. If you choose to add a television, it doesn't necessarily have to suck in here. They are also finally including an actual TV mount. They don't include the TV, but people had a hard time figuring out where does the TV mount go. Because if you look at this, you'd probably look down there and go, oh, does it screw in there? No, actually, the backer panel's all the way up here. So they've just eliminated the guesswork, and they also added a matching exterior mount there. Now, I haven't talked about this. They have a new print on their blackout shades, so it kind of gives it that pseudo bamboo kind of look. What do you think of these sort of open exposed hardware? I don't mind it. I think it looks fine. To me, it looks fine. It looks clean, and it doesn't have the big boxy, you know, valence lambrequin things that you're so used to seeing in the RV industry. Now, they've redesigned their bedroom storage. You have a single closet over here on the driver's side of the RV. Both sides of the bed have shelves. Both sides of the bed have household and USB outlets, including USB Type A and C outlets. And you do have TV hookups straight across from the bed with a massive window over there, providing awesome airflow with the other big window on the campsite that we already just saw. And that's all good. What about the four-legged furry friends? Well, they made it so that our little pets have a little bit easier time climbing up into bed with us, which I think is kind of cool. It also means it's not as easy for you to maybe get in the bed because you're going to have to kind of crawl in the mattress, but being real, I sort of do that at home anyway. It doesn't bother me, but I could see some folks not liking it. The full Wildwoods have struts for these overhead cabinets, and it could just be an early prototypey thing. These X-Lites don't seem to. So that might be a point of consideration for some folks. The Versatilt bed, by the way, it's a power up-down bed system. There is still easy lift storage below it, but it's a 66 wide by 78 long mattress, basically an Olympic queen. They market it as a custom king, but it's an Olympic queen mattress. If you want to just put a normal true queen in, you could probably do that. Anything wider, those really not going to fit. Okay, so I was about to kick this thing over into road mode, and usually I'll do an A-B cut video because a lot of slides are so slow I don't want to have to talk for an extra 2 minutes. Check this out. So we're going to do it live instead, like Bill O'Reilly. This is a new type of slide system not usually found in the towable industry. It's found quite often in the motorized industry. This is a power gear slide system. It moves way faster, so your setup time is far reduced. One of the other benefits of this system, though, is that while it's in, it's still riding on top of that roller system. So what that means is you can walk through and occupy this slide in transit. So you no longer now. Do you want to do a body splash moons? Oh, I just bumped the camera. I'm so sorry. You don't want to do a body splash moonsault off the top rope in this thing. But at a quick travel stop, if you need to feed the family, you can do that here. You can sit in that dinette. You can use the thing. Accessing the bedroom and the rear bunk room, probably not going to happen. But this is a major update feature that is not normally found in the towable RV industry. So if you're going to go to a step-up slide, I think this is the one to use. Now with the wicked sun glare coming in here, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it, like the variants, but that is a full Salem Wildwood body size. You see how big and borderline bulbous the nose of it was versus the X-Lite Cruise Light. You see how it feels a little bit shrunken down and a little more streamlined. That's what happens when you go to that step-up slide, and it's a 6'6" ceiling instead of a 6'9" ceiling on a taller chassis. So the whole thing rides lower, which is kind of nice for overhead clearance, but it also allows the RV to be a chunk less weight. Now, what do I recommend for a tow vehicle on this? There are a lot of people at a lot of dealerships, I bet the majority, would just say, oh yeah, you got a half ton, you tow this all day long. Well, yeah, maybe. It depends on where you're towing and the half ton in question. A lot of tow package half tons will find this one within their capabilities. The RV still has a decent amount of length though, where if you're gonna go through wind zones and if you're gonna go up and down hills, you might want a little more power than that. So some folks may wanna step up to 3/4. Now, I looked at this and these used to run on, I think, a Schwintek slide and then maybe briefly the Norco Exact slide cable system, but you don't see any of the hardware. But because the slide's above the floor, I knew it wasn't rack and pinion. And I got down and I looked at this and I remembered they are using, again, what's called the Assassin power gear system. That's a motorhome slide system. And again, one of the major benefits of that is that while the slide's retracted, you can actually sit in it. And I suspect, I don't have data on this, I suspect it probably has better service records than some of the slide systems they were using in the past. That was a major black eye on these for a number of years. With the volume, they actually had a fairly low rate of problems, but they had such a massive high volume that even that low rate was still too many issues. Little handy dry erase board right here so you can make sure you put you want to get rid of the neighbors, just write underwear ? On that, and then tomorrow they'll probably leave. Your pass-through front storage compartment here, you do have a little bit of the hardware of the VersaTilt bed system there, but I haven't really found it to be a problem for folks. And for the Alive for 25 season, they've added some glow beam lighting both in the front as well as basically in the middle and under the awning. So they've improved their lighting package inside and out on this. Now, if you look over to the left, you see the tin skin Salem that we're looking at over here. This is going to be the base look of these, where we call it kind of in the industry, we call it retro metal, but instead of a 0.024 inch thickness, it actually has a 0.030 inch thickness and what's called tough coat. So what this means is that even if you don't get the fiberglass, the base tin skin version of this has thicker metal than it used to, so it's more stone repellent, and it has an anti-scratch guard, now standard. Or you have the option of going to the platinum package, which also, in addition to fiberglass, adds a 200-watt solar panel that you can see peeking up over the roof line right there with a 30-amp charge controller. Now, if you want the tin skin, and you want to add the solar package, you can do that too. You'll probably find, I'm estimating we'll probably have that in stock at a lot of our Bish's RV dealerships. The awning space, it's okay. It's not terrible. It's not amazing. The location of it's fine. Speakers, I wish they were mounted a little bit lower. They are JBL, so they sound better than a lot of the industry standard audio trash that we've heard for a while. But then again, the music that I listen to as a 90s grunge kid is also sometimes described as audio trash, and I'm not going to argue with it. Frankly, when I listen to it as an adult, I love it, but I'm like, wow, this is really not well accomplished. But I love it! That's the thing. The music you listen to in high school will always be the best music you'll ever hear in your entire life. You ever rediscover an old band you forgot you loved? Oh, that is like the best week in the car ever, just jamming to it on Spotify. Obviously, I just saw a squirrel and I went way off track here. One of the only differences on the outside between the 273 and the 28 VB XL is that the 273 has the camp kitchen in the back under the bunks. The 28 VB XL has it kind of under part of the kitchen on the inside, which actually fights a little bit of kitchen drawer space additionally. Oh my Lanta. Ladies and gentlemen, if you look at this, the gas comes out the backside for your grill. We have an official propanus on our hands. Yes, we do. Now, these have also had a walkable roof for a long time, but nobody realized it because they never gave us ladder prep or anything. Well, they are at least giving us ladder prep. Now, it doesn't include a ladder, but the ladder can obviously go on there. And I'm getting up close and personal here. My apologies. Got to get you around the corner, check out the hot, cold outside utility shower, and the single consolidated sewer outlet, so you don't got to do the poop hydra, poop scoop, boogie, whatever you want to call it. And again, underbelly is enclosed and forced air heated. So, I mean, you let me know. Would you go with the like retro tin skin that has the you know, thicker skin, the anti-scratch guard? Would you go with the platinum package to get the fiberglass with the built-in solar? What would you go for on this one? Now there's a sister to this floor plan called a 28 VBXL. Same living room, same bedroom. The bunk room can kind of VersaFlex around in a few different ways. If you want a multifunctional RV with this layout, look at the 28 VBXL. If you want it just fixed and it's done and you don't got to worry about wrestling stuff, get this one right here. And then it's just simple, easy. But they're both really popular, so they keep them both in their lineup. I'll leave you links in the video description to check whether it's Salem or Wildwood, pricing and availability on these. Any that we have in stock at any of our stores, the pricing is one click away. You don't have to call and give us your grandmother's blood type to find that kind of stuff out. So when you're ready, we're ready. And until then, take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.